Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It is 10:45, first video of the week. Going to jump right into this to help set us up for the week ahead and kind of give an overall summary of the backdrop of the market. Let's start off with the overall sentiment. The market is up basically on hopes of tensions in the Middle East being kind of capitulated. I want to say they think that their capitulation has happened between Iran. I don't think so, but we are waiting on good news, but the market always forward runs. Trump helped soothe everybody by speaking or saying sweet nothings this morning and yesterday. I don't really think it matters. I think he cares about the stock market, so he said what he had to say. Anyways, hopefully we do get some kind of resolution and deal between Iran and the United States, hopefully this week, is what Trump says. Iran says the opposite, but it's not like we could trust Iran. These are people that blow themselves up for fun, so I don't know that I could take their word for it. Sorry. So we have that going on. Here nor there, I really don't care as long as I make money in the market, and that's what I set out to do, and that's what I hope to help everybody set out to do. So what did we have? Friday was a nasty chop day. Nasty chop day. I think there was a lot of reasons in which you could point to the market being down, but really what I'm focused on is one, if we can recover half the day from Friday. That's what I always look for after a nasty elevator down day, is the following day, can we recover half? If we can, I'm going to go full exposure again. So what did I do? Let's talk about the Nasdaq. Let's jump into this. Let's look big picture, zone out for a second. I told everybody last week, everybody calm down. The uptrend is not broken, but relax. So terrible day, as you can see, wiped out 11 days of gains. I know we were back to where we were 11 days ago. The volume was elevated. That was my largest concern last week, and that held true. I talked about that on Friday. I was like, man, I got to watch this volume. I don't want to see a very large amount of volume. Sure enough, as you can see, that was really up there since back in capitulation back last year in April. Actually, the volume had not been that high since last April. So not great, not a great sign. So what I'm looking for is I want to get half this day back. I want to get half that back here, and I want to get above the 21. Below the 21 is not ideal, and that is not where you want to start forcing trades. So what did I do? I decreased exposure Friday, and then I did add to a couple names, and I took a couple things that I couldn't turn from, and we'll get into that now. So overall, the trend is not broken. We want to see an increase over the 21. If you get back above the 21, it's all systems go once again. But on a day like this, you decrease a little bit exposure like insurance because you don't really know how low it can go. However, throughout this period of time, you should have been selling some of your momentum and your swing trades, at least little pieces as you go. All right, that's what I was doing. I don't know if anybody else was doing that, but hopefully you were doing that as well. Oil is also up today because of the news. This chart looks fine for me on the short side. I'm not really worried about it. Oil slightly up, 1%. I'm not worried about it. Still short oil, whatever. Bitcoin kind of getting a little rebound over the weekend. I mean, I wouldn't call this much of anything. 3 trading sessions up. MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor started buying again. Whoop-de-doo. At some point, there's going to be true capitulation in this, and this will go up. My spot sale was sold, but again, on Saturday, I bought more Bitcoin, and I'll continue to buy every week. The minute I see a trigger point to where it's a trade, I'll alert, and I'll buy again. I made on my spot trade, I think collectively like 7 or 8%, not much, but hey, whatever. I still made some money on it. We did oil. Oh, gold. Sorry, gold. Gold down today, now below the 200. Yeah, this sucks. I'd like to see it stay above this bottom of this wick. Below that number, might have to take a little bit off the table. I'm still long gold, but the thing is, I'm long gold for different reasons than most. Not really a trade, more so a hedge and just a store of value for me. So it's a completely different psychological mindset as to what I own. I own hard gold, I own GLD and GLDI, so whatever. Okay. All right, let's get into the names. Let's get through it. Let's see what's doing good, what's doing bad. All right, what did I buy last week? Okay, well, first let's touch on Lilly. I want to go on. What the hell is going on here? I got emojis going on over here. All right, Lilly had more trial data about their GLPs and retatrutide. Needless to say, this is why I bought it in my IRA last week. I mean, I really should have been smarter and bought calls. This looked like such a nice little pullback to get the weak hands out, and it's gone all-time highs. I don't own it besides in my IRA. I think I'm on record If you're an investor, this is a great stock to buy, even right here, just so you know if you're an investor. Anyways. Okay, going up the list, Rocket Lab. This was one that I was going to trim half of it on Friday. I did not do a such thing. I was going to evaluate it. Fortunately, here, I'm still a little bit worried, and I got to be honest. If it doesn't really show me real strength today, I need to take a little bit off the table here because I have some profits, and I don't want them to go bad. This is not a buy here, though I think this will recover to 150, but in the short term, still not a buy. Tesla, I was not stopped out of this name. I actually, on Friday, added to this name, and I mentioned that on my Friday video. I did add, and I reset my stop, wider stop, but overall I did add to this. My only concern with this is when the SpaceX IPO comes, I think some liquidation is going to happen out of here. So that's what I have to kind of watch, and I think you should watch it, but it was so appetizing sitting here at the 50 that I had to add shares, and I reset my stop. So, okay, it's up 3% today. Intel, I talked about this, completely different psychological perspective for me. Intel is one that I think is going to be a huge benefactor of the upcoming months. Also, I thought this pattern was phenomenal, and sure enough, today up 11%. No stop, all gas. This is looking good now to where you could potentially take it on a trade. I'd like to see it above the 21 for those of you who are not in it. I own it as more of a long-term investment at this point, more so than an actual trade. And yeah, looks good. I mean, up 11%. I told you I have a lot of confidence in this name. Huge benefactor of the overall emergence of AI and government stipulations and data centers. So anyways, still positive on that. This one, I want to say I've been a benefactor, the Pinguino. So I ran this up. I was up at 1.40 something percent, had a huge pullback on Friday. Admittedly, I could not hesitate, and I had to buy some on Friday. I did sell back here like 10%, not much, but I bought a decent amount Friday, and so I'm fully loaded, 11%. I think this looks good. This is not financial advice, but for educational purposes. This is starting to form a pennant here. You got to really like the movement here. So I'm back in this, or I should say rather, I'm fully loaded now. I sold 10% here. I want to say I bought 20% here. So I was down to a 90% position and I added it. So I'm higher than a 100% position. I just think this is going to continue to do great. Yeah. Pinguino, rocking and rolling. Lumentum doing great. This pattern still looks good, up 5% today. I really like this. I just need the trading to not be so loose. And I'm looking for like not a wider trade range, but I'm looking for a smaller trade range, kind of like what it had here on its way up. I don't want to see these massive bars either way. As much as I love the green bars, I want to see the red bars and the green bars to kind of stay like inside days, like this was an inside day. This was, oh no, that was an outside. This was an inside day. You want to see your trading a little bit tighter. Regardless, for those of you who don't understand this, this looks very positive, and I think this is something that you could put on your list for this week to purchase. As you know, I'm already in that name, and I have not reduced exposure. Dell, I did trade. Admittedly, I actually sold half my shares this morning. So I did reduce. I reduced, about an hour ago, half my shares. I still think it looks good. I just don't love the curling down moving average. So far away from these averages. I had to start taking in some profits, and I have exposure in other areas. So I'm down to a 50%, well, less actually, maybe like a 50%. I sold on the way up a bunch. So probably a decent share, but I mean, I just received in capital gains like 100% profit on those shares that were sold. Dell, look, long term, I think Dell is fine. I just think it's too extended right now, and I had to ring the cash register. Moving along. So SanDisk, for those of you that are in text threads with me, some of you know who you are. I bought this Friday, like 5 minutes before the end of the bell. It was sitting at the 21. The trader in me could not, it looked delicious. It was so appetizing. So I did take 2 calls and I bought shares. The calls, I'm going to probably close them at some point today because they were short dated calls. Those are working out, needless to say. So I'll toot my horn. That worked out. The shares are up like 8% or whatever. I think this is actionable. I'm going to get shit about this. I think this is actionable, and I actually think right now at the moment it looks better than Micron. So this is actionable. Micron, let's stay in the memory space. And by the way, Pinguino, Micron, SanDisk, all in the same space. So I trimmed 10% on or 20% on Friday, and then I just sold another 10% like right before this video. So I'm really low on this position now. I'm down to like skeleton type of shares here. I do not have a large position anymore in this. I'm going to probably keep what I have for a while. If I see an activated trigger, I might take it on a trade, but my focus has kind of moved towards SanDisk and Pinguino. Okay. My small little stock, since I'm going up my list, I usually do this at the end. Looks great, actually. I'm going to buy shares actually today. I have not bought shares since back here. It's a little position, but I think this is going to go to like $4 a share. Okay. Oh, TGTX working out. Phenomenal so far. This one looks great. This should be on your trigger point. This is not financial advice, but this is a buy. Bouncing right off the pivot above the averages. You can't ask for much on a technical perspective. Not to mention, I've talked about their drug. They have a couple different drugs that are in final phase trials that are looking really positive. Multiple sclerosis drugs. They look really good. Anyways, I'm back in this trade, and I also own that in my IRA. AMD sold a percentage of it Friday, sold another percentage of it now. Just like Micron, I'm in a much smaller position. Again, taking profits. Both have been great trades for me. I'm not greedy. I'm shifting money in other areas. The market, doesn't mean this is not actionable for some. For me, I don't want to say I've exhausted it, but I have my interest in other areas right now. So I only have, going back to here, about a 25 or 30% position I have recouped, or I have rang the cash register, so to say there. And I think we're finishing up. A little bit different, just giving ideas and throwing that out there. I am going to launch an app or something, I don't know, like a Discord app, something that allows me in real time to share ideas and or create or cultivate a good environment for people that I text and trade with, and also real time for my trades, so that everybody could have that kind of experience. That will cost money. The game is to be sold, it's not to be told. These videos are for me predominantly holding myself accountable, because that's why I make these videos first and foremost, is because I'm on record and I want to know if I'm doing good or bad. And there's nothing better than for me being able to document my progress and my overall growth in trading. And secondly, I want to help my friends and family. So I hope that's happening. I laid out a bunch of trades for the week. The one I also did buy AXTA, which I'll go back to it. I bought this on like Thursday or Wednesday. I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday. That was a trade last week. But I think that's it. I'll keep everybody posted. I'll do another video at the end of the week. Overall, I'm going to leave you off with, here's the thing. Kind of hard to fight the overall trend. Trump is going to be hard to buck. What I mean by that is every time there's negative news, Trump goes and sues everybody. He whispers sweet nothings. He's like George Michael, just whispering in your ear every time the future's open or the market. He's like, we're close to a deal. I mean, I probably heard this like 7,000 times, but it's still working. And I don't know that you can fight against that. So Trump whispers sweet nothings. I'm not going to fight the tape. We have a Fed meeting coming up, Kevin Warsh. Everybody got a little afraid because of the job numbers on Friday, thinking that he was going to raise rates. That's not happening. Rates aren't getting raised. A worst case scenario, they're staying flat. He's not raising rates. Trump, even over the weekend, said there's no need for raise rates. And whether like Trump or not, when he says that and he appoints people, they're going to do whatever he says. Like, I'm not trying to be political, but I'm doing this for the thought of talking about how to make money. So you have to peel back kind of like the onion to understand that if you're fighting against logic sometimes, good luck. This whole run, if I'm being completely honest with you, though not unprecedented, a lot of illogical behavior. I mean, if you're all things considering, a lot of illogical behavior, but the market is not logical. So if you're looking for logic, It's not going to work for you. You got to use trends, momentum, and don't overcomplicate things. I just find that too many people text me too many different things, asking me such technical questions. And even though I am a technical trader, don't overcomplicate these things. The trend is your friend. Ride it till the trend breaks. And that's it. Short oil. If you're not shorting oil, you're a putz. And if you're fighting against Trump and his tweets and his whatever he says, you're going to get body bagged. Like if you're doing the opposite of what he's saying. And I'm just going to be honest with you. All right, I'm done for the day. I hope you guys make a ton of money in the market. I love a McAllen 25, Glenn Levitt 20. If you want to send that to my office, 2852 East Oakland Park Boulevard, putting it out there for you guys. Send it over. Adios.